I couldn't care less about the recent Opus 4.7 launch, as it doesn't affect me in any way. I'm sure you've seen all of the Twitter posts, the YouTube videos, but here's why it doesn't make a difference to you too. Most of the posts are just harping over the fact that Opus 4.7 is so superior as compared to other different models. I'm sure you've seen this table being thrown around all of social media, and it shows you how amazing Opus 4.7 is just because of all of the increases in these benchmarks. But for me, I couldn't really care less. It doesn't matter how good the model is, because I'm a non-coder. I'm not building out complex apps that pushes Claude to its limits and building out all of this complex code. And I'm sure most of you will not see a huge difference unless you're building out these different apps. For me, what's more important is that it executes the tasks according to my specifications, and it gives me the output that I expect from it. Anything else is just a bonus, and my main aim is just to outsource and offload all of these tasks that I hate doing to AI so that it saves me all of the cognitive load from thinking about these tasks. Of course, this is biased, and I know I've seen a lot of posts that say how amazing Claude Opus 4.7 is, but I've also seen the other side, where some people have mentioned that it's not actually that amazing. For me, it doesn't really matter because I don't intend to use it at all. And the main reason why is because it's more expensive. Claude has been one of the more expensive plans for AI, and it seems that it just gets even worse with this new update because of the change in the tokenizer. It seems that most people are burning tokens even faster. And of course, our favorite, the rate limits, if you're using one of the paid coding plans. There have been reports about how easy it is to hit the rate limits even within just 15 minutes. And of course, for me, I can't verify because I don't intend to use it at all. I likely face the same issue where I'll just do a few tasks and I'll hit the rate limits very quickly. So I've seen tweets like this floating around social media saying how amazing all of these different updates have been, including Claude's Opus 4.7, the Codex app, as well as Perplexity's computer. But my question to you is, do you really need all of these latest tools? Are they just a shiny toy that you're going to use for maybe a week, and eventually it's no more fun because some new model has already launched in the next week, and everything in the AI space is just moving so fast? And in most cases, if you're using AI like the way I do, we don't really need the best models. Maybe at the start, you want to try out the capabilities. It does make sense that you can just play around and maybe code a few apps from it. But for practical use cases, if you're running Opus 4.7 all of the time, it'll just increase your cost exponentially, where you could be using cheap models instead, or even ones that are free. So instead, what you really need is a portable AI system. And it's been something that I've been building out while I'm learning to get good with AI. The main premise of this portable AI system is one where you're able to build once and switch anytime between models, and you still get the same quality of outputs. Let me just give you a quick overview of my system and how I'm using it for my day-to-day life. So this is my entire file system where I have all of the different contacts and tasks that I have. Ever since I read about splitting between the agent as well as the personal workspace, I've also done it inside my own file system as well. So personal, this would be where I have all of my contacts and whatever content that I've already created, both YouTube videos as well as my newsletters. While the agent's workspace is just a huge mess where I have all of these tasks where I want to execute together with AI. And there's just a huge knowledge base and context that I have that gives the AI even more information about myself and also some of the learnings and the people that I follow from YouTube, Substack, and any other places. So let me just connect to my Signal OS inside of WAP. What I usually do is copy the file path using Option Command C for Mac, and then I'll just run cd this and open my OpenCode. So this is how it would look like inside of WAP. And the unique thing is that I'm able to switch between all of these different providers. I have like OpenCode Zen, I have NVIDIA NIM, and my Google AI Studio API key. And it just gives me the flexibility of switching between any of these providers. You can type Control A and it shows you all of the different ones that you have. If there are any API keys or any subscription plans that you subscribe to, most of them should be found here. And you can easily connect any of them. You just need to enter the API key. The base URL is already configured. But if you want to learn more about the model APIs, then I've also left a link to my tutorial inside there. So in this case, I'll just switch to Gamma 4. And the reason why I'm using this is Google gives out 1.5K free requests every day, and it's really flexible. And the simple things that I can do in my system are all found inside the skills. I have a ton of them here. Some of them I've downloaded, some of them are the ones that I created, and I'm able to just type in anything that I want. Let's say, for example, I have a YouTube video that I want to transcribe and get a summary of it. I have this Learnings YouTube skill. So for example, this video by Denko and JK Molina, I can just copy it, then I can paste it inside. And basically what happens is when I run it, it will first generate the transcript and then it runs a summary based on the prompt that I've already customized based on one of Denko's previous prompts. And basically because you have all of these workflows already mapped out inside of the skills, all you need to do is just give it the URL and straight away you just start carrying out the task based on the instructions. And here you can see that it is asking how should they be categorizing this video. In this case, I'll just say Denko. And the beauty of this is that the requests are free, but you can see here the resource has been exhausted. But not to worry, I can easily switch between any of the other free models. So like let's say I want Open Router free, and then you can see there are all of these different free models they can choose from. I'll go with the elephant one since it's trending. And then let me just escape to add the prompt. I'll switch it over and just put it here. And this just shows how easy it is to build this model. Sometimes it may have errors like this, and then I'll just need to go back and copy the link. Let me just put it here again. And because the skills are all already there, you can easily switch between any of these models and you still should be able to get a similar result. Again, it is not perfect. You can see that I've encountered a lot of different errors while running this skill. Likely I'll have to just go and edit the skill so that it doesn't have these in the future. But you can see that there are different ways that the AI will just keep on thinking, and here, you see that it comes out with this script to extract the video ID. I don't need to code anything at all. It just straight away knows what to execute and how to actually get the data that I want for the task that I want to complete. So it did take a while, but it generated the transcript. Basically, because this is a free model, the outputs that I get and the speed of getting these outputs won't be the same as using a paid plan, but it is good enough. And I can go over to Obsidian. It has actually saved this inside my entire context learnings folder, which I've already specified inside the skill. And then I will just go inside here. This is the actual summary, which is decent. So I'm using Obsidian to view all of the files and outputs that they've generated. This is the transcript that was generated. And this is the summary that was generated based on that transcript. And you can see, okay, it is not too bad. It does say a bit about the entire video. It has all of these different key pointers and stuff. And you can see that I didn't need to say anything at all. All I needed to do was just use the YouTube skills and then paste the URL. Of course, it is not perfect. I had to go through multiple times, but I didn't need to constantly tell the AI, even though I switched models, all of this is already inside of the skills. And it just makes it so much easier for the AI to understand and then execute all of the tasks. This is exactly how I'm using AI inside my system. It's not some crazy vibe-coded tool, but it's all of this infrastructure that allows me to switch models. I already have all my context inside of the file structure, and the skills allow me to switch between models and still get decent enough outputs at a much cheaper price depending on which ones I use. And so let me just quickly share with you all of the different 8 components of my entire portable AI system. I've been playing around with this diagram for quite a bit. You may have seen previous videos where I mentioned about the 5 components or the 7 components, but right now I finalized it into these key 8 components that you need inside your system. The first one is your files. This would be your context as well as your tasks. Context gives the models all of the information about who you are, what you do, and how you think. And the tasks are all of the things that you want AI to do for you. You're offloading all of these workflows, all of these tasks that you hate doing. Is just soul sucking and it's just so tedious. And AI can find a way to automate all of them for you. The next one is your BYOK provider, which is the bring your own key. And this gives you the flexibility because you can connect to any of the different API keys depending on which plans you have subscribed to. And the one that I find is the most flexible and the most user-friendly is OpenCode, because most of the common providers that you have are already pre-configured inside. And of course, there will be the LM. This is the model that does all of the work for you. It uses the context. You connect your files and everything to the LM via the BYOK provider. and it executes all of the tasks for you. You need to have a way to give requests to the LLM, and I'm actually shifting more towards voice instead of just typing. And the software that I'm using is Letterly, but of course there are others like Whisperflow that you hear everywhere. Skills are the key component of this entire system because it lays out all of the different workflows that you have in a very clear fashion so that any model that you connect to can straight away read the skill.md file and execute the task as you expect it to. Tools just make it more powerful because now you're able to connect to different APIs, to different MCPs, and this gives the LM much more context and being able to interact with the real world, like placing a trade on a Binance platform or just pulling data from your Google Calendar. And of course, we want to sync our system across different devices, and that's why I have GitHub. This is the key component that lets me use my system across my desktop and my laptop. And of course, you need a way for you to edit all of your files. And the one that I'm using is Obsidian. You have likely seen a lot of people talking about the Obsidian and Claude Code combination, but I've switched it over to use open code instead. So after this entire sharing, I hope that you can realize there are two key components inside your portable AI system. The first one is your context. Everything that you have, whatever data that you have about yourself that could come from all of these different sources, and you need to convert everything into markdown files that you can then give over to AI so it better understands about who you are as a person, what you do, and how you think. And another key component is building up these skills. So most of my skills are inside my .agents file. You can see there's one here, and I have a huge ton of them. Of course, this is not ideal at all because some of them I no longer use. I just created them at a point in time, but you can just go inside any of them. Like for example, this is my debug summary. It has all of the evaluations, the scripts, as well as the skill MD, which basically shows how and what should be executed. I've increasingly seen just how important skills should be in this age where you have all of these expensive models. You don't want to use them, to switch over to another model that's cheaper while not being locked in with Claude or ChatGPT. So building out these skills and keeping your context within your own file system will be the key components. And if you like to learn more about how to build out skills, even as someone with zero coding experience, I have a link to a free video guide that I'll put in the description. And another key component of this system is learning how to switch between models that I've shown you in this demo. If you want to learn how to maximize your usage of all of the different free models, check out the video that appears on the screen now.